with these Ring of Honor appearances, at this point, were you being told, hey, this is all this is? This is just a one off because you're here? Or was there anything, hey, we might take a look at you in the future? And did that ever come in the future where yourself and Johnny Goodtime, you guys really started blowing up with Pro Wrestling Guerrilla? Were you on Ring of Honor's radar? And were there any plans for that at all, or any discussions or hopes on your end?
I mean, there was always hopes because we did get told, both times. I got told both times, like, it's nothing. Just taking a look. If you get, obviously lightning in a bottle, you get over, that's one thing, but they're just like, it's just a chance to get looked at, make some connections. Okay. Especially the first one. I was in Philly. It worked out. I had my gear, it was one of those. But on the Saturday show in Arizona, Cary Silkin, Ring of Honor owner, who I've met a few times, super nice, a wonderful guy. Some of my one of my closest friends, Mike Mongoose, who I worked with, raised the bar, and at Hollywood, he's super close with Cary. Um, Cary, I guess he really liked me and Kevin. He's like, hey, that's a good little team. But he wasn't the booker. The booker has plans.
Mm,
There's things, but to hear that, I was like, okay, hey, at least there's a chance. And then anytime uh after that, anytime ROH was like on the West, we would certainly try to get booked, especially whenever they were in Vegas, God bless them, the Young Bucks tried to get us on ROH, I think 3 years in a row in Vegas, and it just never worked out. But it's not like it was to the point where we weren't getting communication, Delirious, he and I would, have a little back and forth, and see if something could work, if there was a place that fit for us anywhere on those, Vegas cards, and it just, it never worked out. But we got to see some of our other friends, take advantage of those local opportunities. Reno Scum got to, did a couple things on ROH in Vegas, and I was happy to see that. It's like, hey, at least it went to, some of the good ones.
very cool. Yeah, and I look back, early Young Bucks, Super Smash Brothers, those kind of teams. I In my head, I'm like Rock Nestle would have fit in perfectly with that because that's the stuff you were doing in PWG. So
Yeah, no, and that was definitely where our mind was. We're like, why aren't we there? We know the right people, but it's just, there's a million reasons we weren't there, and there's a million reasons we should have.
yeah, absolutely.
It is what it is, and it was weird because Ring of Honor was a company that was like one of the first indies I really understood as being like an independent company. One of the first indie DVDs I bought had Low Key and Amazing Red doing all their crazy, and I was like, oh, whoa, this is way
Incredible.
different. I was just like, okay, and so it kind of always felt like not the place for me. Um, I was just like, I know I am technically good enough to be here. I am confident in that. I'm still confident in that. The current Ring of Honor today, I could go with anybody in there. I'm confident in that. Um, but I felt like it could be a place for me and Kevin because ROH always had awesome tag teams with very, very, very different dynamics. And I was like, me on my own, I don't know if ROH is the place for me because I want to be a little more entertaining in a different way. But me and Kevin, man, we worked our asses off, and
Yeah.
that was a place where I knew we could do it and shine well. Like, I mean, man, I would have loved to been able to wrestle the Briscoes. That was always a match I was afraid of it for a long time, and then part of me was like, no, don't be afraid of it. Like like how much could you take away from working the Briscoes? We'd already had good matches with the Young Bucks. Sky was back there, and we both Kevin and I have amazing chemistry with him when he was there. So it's like there was a lot of times where I was just like, man, we should be there. I really think we should be there, and it never worked out. It sucks. But again, and at least it wasn't like a major goal for me as an individual. I just think it would have been a really smart place for me and Kevin to be together.